Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the late start today. Um, we're just settling back in after a insane run for Bed Bath and Beyond. JPM, as always, is warning of headwinds, and so that stock is down a fair bit as the entire market is down about 0.8%, which is interesting after a quite meteoric rise in the past couple days. Um, but without further ado, welcome back, everyone. Let's get the conversation going.
I'm looking at the $2 puts for January 20th for Bed Bath and Beyond. Wow, we got our plays done already. Shoot.
Sorry about that. I was just fixing some audio. Oh, of course.
Still working on the audio, I guess.
All right, that should be good. Let me know if that all works for you in the YouTube and Twitch.
On this end, there's still a bit of an echo.
I think it's because we're hearing his YouTube and Twitch playbacks.
That is possible.
All right. Well, did you hear my swanky intro?
I don't think we
No.
did, no.
We didn't. I
No.
was wondering why
Then,
it was so quiet.
then just imagine the best thing you've ever heard, and yeah, that sounds about accurate. But no, markets are down pretty bad, down about 1%, almost 1%. So what's going on?
The
Don't tell me
bull run
it's.
is over.
Are we gonna let a single percentage point tell us the bull run is over?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
CPI, based on the fact it's like pretty close to expected, that rally that we had yesterday in 3 days is a little overhyped. So a little bit of correction I'm seeing right now is definitely expected, and I don't drop too low. I think everyone's holding up. So
I think you had a lot of people who finally got above water and decided to exit the positions. I know there was one guy, he had posted his Bed Bath & Beyond where he made like he was up $7,000 for the day, but his position was only up like 3,000 overall.
Some dude on BBBY went from 18,000 to 114,000 on options.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Congratulations to him.
There's always a couple of those, and it really makes me wonder, like, how many blowups did they have before that event? Because it definitely takes a certain kind of mentality to hold through all that and keep holding.
especially during a lot of margin squeezes.
I saw on the Small Street Bet sub that some guy had a $5 call for Bed Bath Beyond was up over 2,000%.
Oh, at
So
one
let me
point he
ask your
had 10K. And I'm guessing he didn't take it.
Who knows?
Let me ask for your perspective. Do you guys think that this is actually a short squeeze, or is this just an exaggeration of the news pumping on the fact that, they're not actually in as dire straits as people thought they were? Bankruptcy isn't like literally next quarter.
It's equivalent to
Uh,
loosening your belt, not letting your pants rip.
I still think that bankruptcy could happen next quarter. I just think it was people going, just for some reason, all these ridiculous Bed Bath Beyond bulls decided we're gonna buy it, even though it's completely trash. Even though they just said, "Hey, we have problems," they still bought it for some unknown reason. So I still think next quarter they could announce bankruptcy.
I'd like to counter that just by saying I feel that that's very unlikely that they're going to announce bankruptcy. I feel it's more likely they're going to shut down a bunch of stores and move everything online. And yeah, that's my opinion.
I agree with the lad from across the waters. I don't think they're going bankrupt anytime soon, but right now it's just a short squeeze play up until the 20th.
All right. While you were waiting, well, I think we've covered that topic enough. Looking right now at ticker MU, that's for Micron Technology. They just crossed down below delta neutral. And last 4 times they did that, it was prolonged downside. So I'm looking at March 17, $55 puts for $2.55 or less. I'm sure someone can take those notes from the comments.
Any
You said
opinion on where Tesla and Apple might end the day? I got hella puts on them from last week. They finally paying off. They was at 30 cents yesterday. I'm looking to hit about maybe $1.50, $2 today. I'm wondering if I should sell at the open or just ride out through the day.
I'm of the opinion Tesla will move sideways and Apple will move down.
My man.
That's my opinion. Let's be clear.
Tendy usually says take profit whenever you want.
Listen, I'm gonna regard it. Any type of good information just make me feel better at the end of the day.
Hey, Hardy, what was that strike? March 17th?
Micron 55 puts.
Thanks.
Okay, are you trying to just quickly flip it? Maybe just
Waffles, your background
Whoa.
is very noisy.
sorry.
Perhaps put your question in the comments and flag us so we can bring it up.
In other news, the Mega Millions draws today. It's like a jackpot of 1.3 billion. And honestly, even at 1 in 300 million odds, I still think that's probably a better chance of you getting rich off of that than our stock picks.
Oh, hey, I wouldn't write us off too quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Okay, there you got Hardy, Sir Hans's stock, and Simple Vice are probably the only ones up here that I think can make money on a regular basis.
Yeah. Is that true, Simple Vice? Can you make money on a regular basis?
Yes, by working.
Hey, Simple, I'm right there with you, man.
I met one of his coworkers, like a couple drivers for Walt.
There was a former job.
Oh, I see. They fired you. Are you at Glovo now?
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that next time I'm in Belgrade. Order from Glovo, see how it's different. And I'll give you the feedback personally.
Opinion, when do the people start coming in? I see there's only 400 people here.
That's a great question. I have no clue. Why?
I'm going to
Because
go with a
Bed Bath
lot
and
of
Beyond's
people.
down.
I'm going to go with a lot of people that are taking the long weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. In the U.S., it's MLK Day on Monday, so markets will be closed.
Depending
So
on
just
where
keep
you
aware of that.
are, it might be it might be Robert E. Lee Day. Evidently, some people still celebrate this.
I think it's still MLK
Yes.
Day. It's just MLK and Robert E. Lee Day in some places. They combined.
I'm Canadian, and I have no idea who these people are, but markets are closed tomorrow or
Same.
Monday. That's the key. See, a couple things happen in the U.S. and they have to punish everybody. But yeah, so
That was
don't
dark.
panic too much. Anyways, yeah, so there won't be a talk that day.
I have a question to post to the group. It is market related, but it's not stock related per se. Does anybody have any opinion on what is going on with all these companies that are just exploding in like Carvana, BBBY, and etc.? I'm sure there's always a story behind every story, but this really looks very strange. This run up with the GME and everything else. Party City also.
I love you.
Happy Friday.
Yeah,
don't
worry about it, Simple.
I'll see you soon. I'm not gonna be. I shouldn't be all day.
Hey,
It should be
human, your affectionate spouse or partner, we can hear them and tell them we say hi.
Human,
Human,
tell
I
your
love you
girlfriend we
also.
love. Human, tell your girlfriend we love her too.
We love her too.
Yes.
So Carvana had what its greatest intraday gain yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it popped like
38% up.
yeah, it popped like 49% at one point.
Yeah, 50.
So it's very obvious the shorts are under, the dark pools have been drained, and now the hedgies will die. Clearly, that's what's happening. This is the new
Well-
market. Welcome to the future, and there it is. The revolution begins.
Or they're
I
taking
think
profits at this point and just covering.
Yeah, but why
it
not?
probably echoes a lot of the price movement that we saw in 2022 and 2021, where all of the quote unquote meme stocks or highly shorted stocks seem to move together sympathetically. And I'm not sure if there's some broader correlation maybe with the CPI news and possibility that interest rates will be have a lower terminal rate than expected, that all these meme stocks are maybe much more exposed to interest rates or something than average,
but
and
it's
so they
not
all
all.
tend to pump together.
Keep in mind
it's not all.
also there are new SEC rules being considered, which would remove some of the ability or some of the tactics to hide short positions, which I think is the leading thesis as to why the dooms are not being rolled over, the deep out of the money put spreads or whatever they're called.
But why? Look, the
What
AMC
is
didn't move. There's this blue apron bullshit that moved like
AMC
also
is
40%.
AMC is diluted to hell, so that's a hedgy win. Blue Apron doesn't have meme strength or retard buying strength the way thinking something like Tesla, Bed Bath and Beyond, or GameStop has.
Yeah, but it went 40% blue apron. There's also who's trying to talk. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, didn't AMC do 20% like 2 days ago? So it has.
What
done
does
a
that
bit.
40% run represent in dollars? Like, what is it? 80 million bucks in market cap change?
No, not even. Like 15 million.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, you're right. Actually. Yeah, that could be a thesis. Yeah, because there's like a bunch of them, pump and dumps that went up the other day.
So my question for you, Hardy, is at what rate are the dooms not being either rolled out or like just expiring in general?
There have been no moves in the 2024 expiration or 2025 expirations in terms of open interest. So I'm curious to know, like, where will all these synthetics go when it expires next week?
That's the 20th?
Yes. Keep in mind, however, because of T+2, the theoretical effect would be on the 24th, and then plus any additional can kicking will probably take it to next month. So after on the 23rd, which is the Monday following expiration, I'm probably going to look into like March or April deep out of the money call options strictly for the Vega play. I need to see how that's going to play out. but that's what I'm currently eyeing in the wake of the Doom's expiration. It's initially a nothing burger, and then like you hear the rumbling of something imploding.
Fair enough. I can't imagine that they'd want to. I mean, to me, the signal is that the play is ending, and they're slowly gonna maybe roll them out, not a whole year away, but shorter dated ones, and maybe they'll stagger them. That'd be how I would imagine things would go out.
But it really is super weird with everything going on. Like almost every meme stock went up. That had a lower market cap. What Hardy said actually makes a lot of sense then.
And I think part of that is also the expectation that if one of them pumps and people exit that, then that money will then flow to the other meme stocks, because what do meme stocks traders trade other than meme stocks, really?
I also have another question to get the audience going. Does anybody here own Bed Bath and Beyond? I'm gonna ask the question like, when are you going to sell? When is enough enough? Now, I'm genuinely curious. Like, are you still holding, waiting for, I don't know, Monday, Tuesday?
Where's Notes? Opinion, bring him up here. He has questions to answer.
He's still banned.
So somebody
Wait, what?
the order
No,
of
BBBY was unbanned yesterday. Shouldn't he be brought back too?
Yes, to serve his sentence.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Munoz, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, you asked the question when people plan to sell. I think right now what we're probably seeing, what I feel like is happening is anticipation of either bankruptcy or them going through a merger or acquisition, prolonging their life and expected runway. So me personally, I'm just waiting to see what comes to fruition. I mean, whether that 10Q has something damaging or positive. Either direction, I'm waiting to see what direction they go with, either bye-bye baby and selling off that asset or any of their other assets, or, possibly going through a merger or acquisition with another firm.
Did you?
So, I mean,
Sorry to interrupt you, but did you read the news that Bed Bath & Beyond is in talks with Syncamore Partners to sell assets, including its bye-bye baby stores, as a part of possible bankruptcy process?
I did, but it's not something that's solid yet. So, and we're right now, I bought in at $1.80. So, I mean, I'm way in the green, so I'm not in a
Good
rush
for
to
you,
close
dude.
the position. So, like, I'm not in a rush. I'm just waiting to see how it plays out until something solid comes out. I mean, it makes no sense to close a position I'm way in the green on, except my options, which expire next week, which, I don't know, depending on how today goes, that'll determine a lot. But
It might be to your
know,
advantage to sell long-dated, in-the-money call options. In the event the price goes down, you got your premium.
Yeah, but then I have to buy shares and hedge that just in case I get
I thought you still had shares.
called. I do, but I only have like 275 plus 19 call options for next week. So it's not like I have thousands of shares. I only have 275. So that's like 2 options. 3. So it's not a lot, but I mean that's what I'm waiting on.
Are you, Munoz, are you a BBBY believer? Like, are you, like in the stocks and shit? I pose this question just to ask you another thing. Like, you do realize, you and everybody else, like, it's never going to be enough. Like, it doesn't matter how much you squeeze, somebody's going to be holding the bag.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Simple.
Greed will get you there, Simple. You're so right.
Yeah, and I think what Hardy said. I bought a bunch of shares. They're in the money. I bought a bunch of shares. I don't care about BBBY. I care about money. I bought a bunch of shares. I'm selling in the money covered calls on them, and I've got my stop limit sale in already. So once it drops, I'm more than happy to get rid of the shares. I don't care about BBBY. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they moon. I don't care if they go bankrupt.
Yeah, I think most people here. Yeah.
Go ahead, Munoz. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think everyone's here to make money, right? I mean, who the hell is here to just no one's here to be Superman. I think everyone's here just trying to make a living. So and try to fucking retire. So excuse the language, but I think at the end of the day, yeah, that's everyone's goal. And so no, I mean I'm a believer that they don't go bankrupt. I don't think they're that stupid, or the people joining the team aren't that stupid or short-sighted to join a company that's failing.
Well, you hope unless they're the failures, the ones that want to make it fail, right? For other people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, and so me personally, I'm long, so I don't think it goes bankrupt, but I hope it doesn't, right? But my educated guess is that it doesn't, based on the news out there. But it could. It still very well could, and I realize that.
And this is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, including myself. Like, I mean, I'm not the best options trader from anybody, but this is where you learn your technique. I mean, it's not perfect, and you're possibly gonna lose, but to learn the techniques of going forward, just like Hardy said, like put them further dated, right? Because you can't get anything on the options chain. It's like so fucking it's all the way down to the fucking end on this thing. It's like even the 80s. It's insane. But
now somebody said that they had I guess 30 million shares that they sold at a floor of $5.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting for Hardy to come in here just to see if he could confirm something of the sort, because this is a sort of rumor going around, but it's pretty much like a WWE rumor the other day with the Saudis buying it. So,
oh yeah, Vince McMahon and this stuff.
No. Well, yeah, but I'm just
That's
kind of.
I would just like to say last
time.
No, but I'm just using that as the same kind of rumor is like supposedly 30 million shares of BBBY got bought yesterday and are gonna be bought by a private entity, and nobody really knows. I'm trying to look around. I can't find fuck all, obviously, but I'm just saying similar to that rumor the other day.
To add to that, they filed a 12B-25 for a delay of their 10Q, and in the reasoning that they gave the valuation or the testing of their impaired assets, and so it looks like that they're trying to value what the entire business is going to be valued at, and or assets within the business that they could sell off. So it seems like that there may be some truth to that. I don't know how true it is. I haven't heard that rumor yet, but it seems like they're going through some type of sell off, whether it's an asset or of the entire company. So it's interesting to
I don't see it being like Ryan unless it's like I got no hold on these. You know what I mean? I want to dump them. I want to dump them tomorrow. I'll dump them. You know what I mean? But they're gonna probably have a 4-month hold on them, unless there's some kind of written agreement. But that's the usual, is it not, there, Hardy? Or is it not? Like
couldn't go up. Still a relative nothing burger.
No, I know that. I'm just saying when you do a deal like that, is there usually a hold on them for 4 months?
No.
Okay.
Now, usually the saying is buy the rumor, sell the news. But then, yesterday Yahoo came out with a news article about rumors. So what the fuck do you do in those cases? It's like rumor news. What do you do with that?
You buy Intel. That was a horrible joke.
Hey guys, I have to go into the office real quick, Rick, in 5 minutes. But I wanted to share an anecdote
the restaurant.
Huh?
You mean the restaurant because you're working Wednesdays?
Oh yeah. I wanted to share an anecdote. I work at this company where we buy and sell cars, and on Monday we were reviewing essentially numbers from Q4, and our business analyst was talking about how in Q4 of last year we bought a lot less electric vehicles than we did in the previous quarters, and I think that may be one of the reasons why Elon is lowering prices in the Tesla price cuts, and that may be a sign that in earnings in 2 weeks they're gonna come under what the expected EPS is. Just wanted to share that.
Price cuts were after the quarter closed, so any price cuts after the quarter close won't affect earnings. You need to look during the quarter.
Right, but I'm saying because the Q4 the sales and were a lot lower than what they probably wanted. That's probably why they're lowering prices. No.
Do you think pour forward guidance?
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
Talk a little S&P if we're off the pressing subjects.
What
All
did
right.
you want to share?
Well, I just want to say that I'm thinking, in spite of pre-market moves, that the SPY might move up today. I feel like the CPI print was bullish, and that the trend over the last 5 days seems like more upseas. Nate was talking about Max Payne today being at 393, and we're there already in pre-market. But I'm noticing a drop on the volatility index, which usually signifies that the SPY is ready to move up. So, any thoughts on that?
If ever, it might run up to 396. I don't know if it's going to shoot much farther beyond that.
Roger, thank you very much.
Any bank plays anyone has?
I don't even know what the bank play would be on the, or what the play would be, but short fucking Wells Fargo. I just don't see them fucking doing very well.
I do
So
want
anybody's
to
going
point
to come
out,
on here.
at 10 a.m. today, University of Michigan will release their consumer sentiment report. So it's a survey of 500 customers who are asked to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions. Unclear what the impact will be on SPY, but if the sentiment is less than the expected 60.8% positive, then downsies.
Oh, nice. I have that. Downsies.
It could just as easily be a nothing burger.
That was a great fucking joke opinion. Luz is here. Luz, what up?
Hey, I'm totally down. Yeah, that's a good thing to be. But it's not cool to make fun of Down syndrome people if that's what opinion's doing. That's not cool at all, man.
Is that why you?
You know it is cool.
Luce, you said
Bag
you had
holders
something to share.
anonymous. Oh.
What was
Oh,
that?
did I?
You asked us to bring you up, so here you are.
Yeah, everybody has to come up.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got you
is
up,
it
so it's the
wait,
deal.
am I obligated now? Oh, okay.
Oh, we can put you back down if you have nothing to share.
Whoa. Take it easy there, Captain.
Hardy spent some time in Balkans, and now he's all manly.
He's
and
like
hard.
you now.
Yeah.
What did you do to him?
He's
Simple?
gonna kill everybody.
All right.
Well, y'all wanted to talk BBBY, right? Was that the contribution for today?
Buying with
Sure. What you got?
broke me.
Well, I already made my trade on BBBY, and at risk of somebody trying to make the same trade and doing it wrong, which it's fine. Like Lockstar said, it's a learning experience here, educational. That's what the stock market is. So I'm selling strike 3 February puts, and I'm buying strike 3 May puts, and I'm gonna roll the puts I'm selling for February every 30 days to collect premium and try to turn it into a riskless spread. So I'm looking at anywhere for that one. I'm looking at anywhere from about 3K to 12K profit if I get my way. And then I'm buying some further out of the money puts at strike 2, just in case they say they're going bankrupt, which is what the bond holders believe. So if it really tanks because they're going bankrupt, then I'll make money on that extreme downside.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I hope I earned my keep here.
WWE.
So is WWE selling or no?
No, it's I think it's up. It was up pre-market for a bit there. It was up like 3 or 4%.
No, I mean, are they selling the company or not?
I don't know. I think they're gonna sell it like two-way. Like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to sell it straight to the Saudis. Now Tony Khan's in there. So now it's like a four-way battle. 5. I mean, Amazon, I don't know. Roll them out. You got to get people that actually know how to run the company, that do it all the time. Comcast, Disney.
Disney ain't buying shit anymore with the new CEO.
They're having
They have too much debt.
They have an identity crisis right now.
Not a chance. Disney is pure trash. If this continues on, in a couple of years, you'll be buying Disney with the basics that the company had in 2018. The company is a complete trash. The management is.
I would only say 20%. You know what I mean?
Wait, simple. Is this because they don't have Disneyland in Croatia?
Yeah. They have too much debt going on when they bought Fox. And now they wanted to buy Sky News also, a European shitty television.
Why on earth would they want to buy Sky News?
Nobody knows. And they were willing to pay premium.
What a Comcast.
Lockstar, shut the fuck up. They were willing to pay a premium for it. And if they bought it, they would be paying 20 times more of a value of that company. Plus, with the Fox News, it will push company into such a debt that they will be recovering for 10 fucking years.
Wait, did they buy Fox News, or I thought they just bought Fox Studios?
Yeah, Fox Studios. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not American. I don't know the difference.
I think it's 21st Century Fox, the movie house, not the TV syndication, whatever.
Correct.
But in terms of Disney, is Shanghai Disneyland back to capacity yet? I know they were open briefly on a limited basis. I don't know if they're back. That was a major revenue driver of their parks line item, which they very conveniently didn't break out.
No idea, but what I do know is, because I was looking at the fundamentals of the company and some politics going on in the company, they're all pinning it down on the former boss. On the former CEO. And the CEO that's now in charge was gone like, 10 months, a year. It's a complete bullshit.
Part of the problem is Chapek fired all the creatives and replaced them with accountants and like former management consultants. So I don't know to what extent Iger will reverse that, or if he can even attract back the fired talent.
Well, it worked well for Apple when they brought Steve Jobs back.
Yeah, but you need to understand the debt of the company, the shares that are given to the CEOs and the employees. Like, it's everybody is earning except the shareholders. I wouldn't buy Disney if it was like 20% discount that it is from today. Like, that company is gonna have to go through a major restructuring to be,
in the
value
short
play.
term. I know the new CEO or the one that came back. My girlfriend's she's obsessed with Disney, so she was telling me about how I guess they cut prices on tickets, on the cost of entry to the various parks, as well as I don't know if they did away with the parking costs.
Parking for resort guests is now included in the price of the resort. The initial entry ticket to the parks has been lowered, or rather has been made more volatile because of seasonality, but the cost of extras, food, souvenirs, photos, etc., within the parks remains elevated. Same for the cost of Genie Plus, although now Genie Plus has a photo package bundled in, if I remember correctly.
Also, I want to.
I mean, that sounds reasonable.
Good morning, guys.
It's meant to sound reasonable, and then it'll slowly be pulled back as Disney needs to earn more revenue to pay for the content that they developed as part of the Disney Plus platform.
I wanted to add that looks like Iger's up to his old ways, and he put a bid out on WWE. Vince McMahon's looking to sell it, so he's one of the people who are looking to do that. And then yesterday, Kramer had a guest on I can't remember what his name is, but it's a very good. Like I suggest watching it because this guy just tears into Disney's management and how they're running their company is all fucked up. I'll look it up. Hold on one second.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I mean-
the investor.
Kramer said this?
Ritz,
A
no.
guest?
Nelson Peltz. He had Nelson Peltz on.
Pelt,
Nelson
yeah, and
Peltz.
this guy just
Yeah.
fucking goes off on the Disney
Yeah.
board, and
Peltz
this
is,
is what I-
is a value investor. He keeps the companies around like six years
And
in
he's
his
also-
portfolio.
and he's also like an
Sounds like
activist
you
investor.
and him would be good friends. Simple.
Does anybody know how much retail? Hardy, don't say the answer. Does anybody can guess how much retail on average holds the stock? What do you think, Weeb? How much does the
Disney?
retail trader? No, everything.
About a month.
5%.
No. In
Oh,
time.
how
in
long?
Time frame. Yeah.
In time?
I would
Put
say
a number out.
6 months.
Honestly, it might be a way less than that. Retail traders,
Yeah, retail traders. Yeah.
2 days.
No. The average is 6 months. That was a great guess, boys.
2 days. Anyways, so this guy just tears into Disney's management, and he's saying what I've been saying this whole time, which is like I'm long term bullish on Disney, short term bearish until they restructure a little bit and start casting off some of these board members.
So I want to just bring something up that I was talking about in the Discord yesterday, which is what is it now? The executive compensation packages that over the entire market moved from about 20x the average employee salary 40 years ago to today, where I think Disney's one of the biggest, craziest violators. I think their CEO or CFO gets something like 600 times the average employee salary. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're not doing one-to-one comparison, apples to apples comparison. They're comparing total comp to salary. And they're also, keep in mind, companies like Walmart use third-party contractors to hire things like cleaning staff to manipulate the multiple lower. I know, Noah, isn't that right?
Look, I agree with you on a lot of those things, but again, cleaning staff is a part of a company. No matter how you look at it, you
misunderstand, Trash Panda. You're saying Disney is an offender, and I'm not denying that. But you're saying other companies are less offenders, and I'm telling you that part's a little misled.
not.
Okay, forgive me.
No. Yeah, no.
I'm misquoting you then.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Plenty
No,
of
what I'm saying
examples. Uber and everybody else.
Yeah, I think there's a huge problem that we are looking at right now, where it's not just Disney though that needs to restructure. It's a bunch of these big heavy companies that really need to kind of cycle through their entire executives offices.
So are you suggesting, Trash Panda, that executives need to somehow willingly take an earnings cut?
No, I'm actually suggesting that they need to start firing people and then
hire Wall Street Bets mods.
Yeah.
SEOs. I will take 5% paycheck. Less.
I'll take 2.5.
Hey, Panda, I think you should go to Davos this week and see if you can get past security.
That's a good joke. Go make a speech, Panda.
Didn't Adam Aaron say that he's cutting his salary this year or something to save the company money?
Yeah, AMC is the AMC guy, right? We talked about that yesterday. So it's not it's a crazy idea that no one will do willingly. They actually do occasionally have to suck it up and admit that they're going to drive their company into the dirt if they keep collecting huge checks. If you're getting paid 600x what the average employee is getting paid, you have to look at it from the mindset that, even if you had been taking what used to be the average, which was about 20x, that you have enough money as a corporation to hire about 580 extra hands to do work that you're not.
Is it average or minimum?
Average.
So that implies that the min to max would be even higher. So let's work it out. right? If $15 an hour, let's call that the floor, times 2,000 hours a year, approximately, is $30,000. So 600 times that 30,000, no, please, comes out to 18 million. So
Yeah, and the current CEO is making like 34 million.
my point is their decision, or can whatever the multiple is, 600 people make a better decision than that CEO?
Well, it's not about having 600
Because
people
that's
to
their
make a better
valued.
decision. It's that even when we look at companies in growth mode, you are hiring and producing more. So what I'm saying is, aren't you better served sometimes as a company to have a less fancy person giving guidance and more people actually doing the work? So in other words, instead of having a general on the battlefield, having an extra 400 soldiers.
Voice. This looks like communism to me. Let's move away from this conversation.
It's not a meat grinder,
I'm
Trash
happy.
Panda.
I would just not recommend it with banks because it's just not going to work. They're not going to, you know what I mean? It's just not. It's
No
outside of Wall
communism
Street.
here.
Put
Guys,
it this way, Panda. Outside of WallStreetBets, I automate shit for a living. I put people out of work and I get paid very handsomely for it. Does my value equal the value of an individual that I caused to get fired?
No, but I would rather have 400 of you than one of you.
Correct, but I'm a force
Smart people
multiplier.
gotta
So 400 of me represents maybe 40,000 people.
Did you look into cloning?
This is a great.
I've got Noah on my
conversation.
lap here, and he's not really able to do what I can do.
Hey, I got some comments. There's some good comments that I think maybe we should bring in the people in the audience as well. Yeah. So let's see. No gains without risks says some people are here almost every day. I wonder what everyone does for a living. It's good. It's a good question. Desperate FF player 91.
Wait. We need to answer. Hardy puts
Oh.
people out of work.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
the
right.
villain. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and your mom. No gains without risk. We also we do your mom apparently. Desperate FF player 91. Disney is owned by money hungry mongers and managed by petty egomaniacs. There is no craftsmanship of their business, just their creative products due to the talented individuals. So that's another response.
So they're a
to
glorified sweatshop.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, and some guy, he deleted his comment, but I kind of remember it. It said, Loose Ventures, can you please just talk about your dick? Because we just have all the geniuses up here talking. The Wall
Well, you
Street
must have
Bets
heard about the
geniuses.
janitor positions.
He deleted his comment, but I wanted to bring him up. Oh, and then somebody's got a question regarding Delta Airlines for opinion.
Yep.
But they didn't say what the question is.
So, sorry guys, if I'm speaking out of turn. So Delta released their earnings this morning, and apparently they did good, but looking at the stock, why is it just tanking? I'm not good at numbers, so if anyone has opinions, thoughts.
Because it was already pumping for the whole week. It was been going up.
Yeah, it was
I
last
mean, you
night.
say
It
they
was
did pretty
39.
good. They beat by 11%.
Yeah, and now it's like $37 in what? Any thoughts on that?
We're living in an alternate We're living in an alternate universe. BBBY reported horrible results, and they skyrocketed to, what 100% or whatever it was. And Delta's doing well, and obviously their stock has to go down.
Apparently, we have entered the twilight zone. But the other possibility is that they might have given some lowered forward guidance.
And the volume was so high at 7 o'clock in the morning. Does it mean people are like trading at 7 o'clock? I have no idea.
Oh, welcome to the.
I trade at 1 a.m.
No, so Delta did really good. I'm bullish on them. I think that they're down this morning because the market seems to be down overall, and plus the just the volatile earnings reports in bear markets. Their sales increased from 14 to 17%, or something like that, and they are predicting higher labor costs. and they are putting out a new contract which should be approved this week or next week for pilot raises. They the union is debating it right now, and that's kind of bullish to me because their biggest choke point in running their business was the lack of pilots. Simple Vice might disagree with me, but I think that's bullish, and I think that they're going to do great. I think in the next week it's going to pop right back up.
Anybody have an opinion on any of these, like Hive blockchain or any of the other ones that are in that basket? Because they're all pumping this week. I mean, obviously.
Can you name some tickers?
Hive. Let's see here. What else do we got?
Coinbase, Coin.
Yeah. I did have a whole list of them here.
Yeah, I got an opinion on Silvergate. It's fucking bullshit.
Hey, I'm with you on that one, bud. Because I think
I'm waiting until
my
before
opinion on
earnings
that is that's a
to load
Citadel
puts.
that's a Citadel flooding program with a bunch of other fucking crooks, and that's where all those AMC, AMC and FTX for the FTX ones that are imaginary, as well as the GMEs.
Well, okay,
That's
so
it. I mean, you can go into that deep. I've been digging into it for the last fucking day and a half.
hey, I totally get it. I mean, I started this. I had a conspiracy theory that they were totally fucked, and I was right. And now they're pumping back up, and I think it's because they might have overreacted a little bit on crashing
Well,
the stock
it is a
down.
bank,
And
right?
yes, and they're going into their earnings, but they early released the damage report of the FTX fallout, where they mentioned that they had something like an $8 billion loss and even more in other assets. And so the stock tanked 44%, and then now it's kind of recovering a little bit. Just probably is
a good example. It's just like the other day. Two reporters said on WWE that they were selling it to the Saudis. I was all pumped up. I'm just
Rockstar, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, guys. We've got 10 minutes left. I don't know if there's any plays that we wanted to wrap up before markets opened. Don't want to spend too much time on any one topic.
Hey, real quick, not to derail this, but I was waiting for an opportunity to get in from a while back. Good morning, everybody, by the way. But this is just to piggyback off of the WWE guy who was mentioning that Tony Khan and his family was trying to go ahead and be in the running for buying it, along with probably teaming up with Comcast or something, because that's just too much of a good product to let go money wise, and also just so people have information so they can make their smart plays, right? Because I don't have anything for you. On the 12th of January, they did retain the Rain Group LLC as a financial advisor. They also have Kirkland and Ellis LLP as a legal advisor, and August LLC, excuse me, as a strategic communications advisor to support WWE's management. So they are looking for different alternatives. They haven't said sales, like they're going specifically for sales. They're just trying to make as much money as possible. But a lot of people are basically looking at it as a sale just because, Vince can't have it. He's almost at retirement age. He literally kicked his daughter out of the company just so he could keep going the way he wants.
What's your guess though? What's your guess? 10 to 12?
As who's buying it, or
No,
if they're
10 to
going to
12
try to
billion
license or sell?
in the billions.
Fuck, bro. They already have
10 to 12.
Fuck. Damn it, dude. I'll go conservative. I'll say 10, but it just has so much potential for good money. Like Vince himself has been ruining the product for years, which is the only reason that their fucking ratings started dropping and their live show attendance started dropping. It's the only reason AEW has been able to come and be like a fucking secondhand competitor
You
to them
sound like a
only
fan.
3 years.
You sound like
I know the products. Like I used to like WWE, but it's been shit for so long. If you look back when they were on top, when Austin became the most fucking profitable star that they had, they've changed the strategy on how the product works. Vince has just lost touch. He's an old man that doesn't know his fucking fan base anymore, and the only people that stayed with him for the longest were those hardcore fans, right? That they didn't give shit. WWE, let's fucking go. Just give me a steel chair and I'll buy your shit. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for the insight.
Yeah.
let's move on to wrapping up with some plays. We can talk more with extended discussions in after market opens, but I want to make sure we get all our plays out there before market opens.
Yeah,
I
shorting
still have my
Silvergate.
sorry, I still have my calls on FedEx, which is still doing good, and they expire next week.
All right, sorry, we got shorting Silvergate, and what was the other one?
Oh, okay.
I think he said
whatever. In
calls
general,
on FedEx or something.
Calls on
and then
FedEx.
in general, I think that the meme rally is going to end next week because the 20th open interest on GME is outrageous, and after that, I think it dies down a little bit, and the volume dies down, and you're going to see a drop or steady price back in AMC and BBBY.
I'm thinking that by the end of next week, Bed Bath & Beyond will be headed back to where it was at the beginning of this week. So I'm eyeing $2 puts for January 20th for Bed Bath & Beyond. Wow, I can't believe I just killed the conversation.
We all can't believe it. How dare you say something negative about Bed Bath & Beyond?
Unbelievable that there are no plays.
In the nicest way I can say this, Bed Bath & Beyond is probably going bankrupt.
I think the news put it much harsher than you. I think I wouldn't take into consideration too much the red that it's seeing in pre-market. I think that's more just in connection with the how SPY is moving. I think we'll probably end green today for Bed Bath & Beyond, if I'm honest. What do you guys think?
I think it's an excellent tale of secondary market mechanics and technical analysis of stocks. It's very interesting. If you don't want to short Bed Bath & Beyond or buy puts on Bed Bath & Beyond, you can always do Carvana. I don't think that people are so attached to that stock.
This is my opinion, but I do know they need a lot of that steel for making all these tanks and shit like that. But Cleveland Cliffs, they've gone up like way too dramatically in the last month, and then I think they're going to do a bit of a pullback. I don't know if it's. I think it's anywhere from like 18 to 16, right? And then they can do another jab back up. But it probably won't go down to 16, but you can get like 17s for the Februaries. I'd be taking a look at those. It might be a stretch on that. You might be able to. I would maybe go 18s, but you're going to be doing a pullback because this thing's gone up way fucking too fast, right? And we know that all these kind of things that deal with steel and outlets, they pull back way quicker, right? When the whole market pulls back, like everybody just flooded into this fucking thing. Insane.
Do you know why, Rockstar?
I don't know specifically.
Rumor of
but
Chinese steel mill closure.
Okay, thank you.
Again, by the rumor.
Oh, Hardy, what do you think of this new strain of COVID? Do you think they're going to lock down China at the New Year's?
I need Chinese New Year to happen and the cases to explode to the point the hospitals are bursting beyond capacity. That's when Yang becomes long calls instead of short puts.
Think they're going to have less tolerant or more tolerance this time for spreading disease than they did the first time with COVID?
Well, the symptoms for these strains are not as severe as before. Side effects no longer include death, but it's still quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, I heard it's a lot more contagious, but they don't know the deadliness of it.
The gentleman says he has information on SI.
I bring him up. Sorry, I'm trying to feed Noah at the moment. Doesn't like his oatmeal.
Hey, quick play before Mr. D gentleman speaks. I would
I think Coinbase is in a short position now, in a good range for shorting, especially if it goes back up to 47. I would short it, and also puts on Tesla. Reports coming.
Coinbase is trading as part of like is trading with Silvergate, so you might want to look at which one is a better play for you, because Silvergate's more volatile than Coinbase. But you might want to but look at the IVs on your premiums, and you might find a better play shorting Silvergate.
Yeah, Coinbase has had a nice little run the past past week, like almost 15 points. So yeah, a little too much, too soon.
All right, so here's some info about the play. Basically, Silvergate, their book value per share is estimated to be at about $8 by JP Morgan conservatively. If that's correct, then the price to book ratio is
2-minute
trading.
warning.
Sorry, what was that?
2-minute warning.
Go ahead. That's fine.
So historically, their price to book ratio has been trading at 2. Then it went to 1, then it went to 0.5, then it went to 0.4. Basically, the market indicating, hey, we're not sure about how stable this business is. And then once they reported on January 5th that they had $8 billion in cash off their balance sheet, the total shareholder equity was up for debate. Now the estimates are coming out that the book value per share is $8. It seems like the price to book ratio for Silvergate is what the market is fighting over, because historically it traded at 2, now it's trading at 0.4. So I would say that hold off on shorting it, because basically the market is indicating that now that the fair book value is $8, it actually might be trading at a fair ratio. So that's kind of hard to understand unless you've looked at its balance sheet. But basically, what we'll find out on the 17th is what they're telling people about the business model going forward. So unless you think that the price to book ratio should still be trading at 0.4, essentially saying that, this stock should be getting down to like $3.50, then stay away. But I'm of the opinion that it should be trading at $9 to $10. So I'm still short, and I'm going to be adding to the short position today.
And their earnings are on the 17th, which is probably when I want to get in. And then we were also talking about SBNY. Do anything more about that?
Yeah, SBNY is another bank that's alleged to be tied up in the FTX scandal, but the amount of money they actually had deposited on the exchange was only like 0.1% of their total crypto assets. There's still debate on whether they're hiding something. I would keep an eye out. There's plenty of short sellers. Short sellers like Mark Cohodes that have started publishing information about SBNY and Silvergate. So, check Twitter, do your DD, but SBNY is a short play, but I would avoid it because we have bank earnings going on. But 8 o'clock, you get SBNY earnings on the 17th. 8:30, you get Silvergate earnings on the 17th. So January 20th contracts on the short side are what we're trying to play the day of earnings.
Yeah, so the reason why I like SBNY is because they're also a crypto bank. Same idea. They've released a statement that they didn't have as much to do with FTX, but this bank run is systemic with all the centralized exchanges. And because they haven't released their damage report early like Silvergate did, that means that potentially in their earnings they could be claiming massive losses.
The
So
Silvergate balance sheet, take a look at it, gents. Like September 30th or September 2022, their last quarterly earnings report at 13.9 billion in customer deposits, 8 billion in cash left the bank. They had to take out a $4.3 billion loan from a bank in San Francisco just to have enough cash on their balance sheet to make investors sure that there wasn't going to be a bank run. Then they had to basically lay off 20% of their staff. JP Morgan is saying the book value of this thing is only $8, when just 3 months ago the book value per share was $35. Like, it's a short, but the issue is that the move was on January 4th and January 5th, and right now we're just fighting over scraps, and the move may already be over, and I may just be a bag holder who got it wrong. So, if you see it trade above 15, I think you can still go short there, but anything under 10, I would stay away.
Right. So basically, a bomb went off in Silvergate, price drops because they released that statement. But SBNY hasn't released their statement yet, and if they're obviously tied to like Binance or some other
No,
some
maybe
other exchange. So
maybe
that
Empire.
hold on, wait. Let me finish the sentence. So when they announce their earnings, they could be announcing something that is like just as devastating. It might not have came from the FTX scandal directly, but it is coming from this huge bank run on these centralized exchanges. So I'm extremely bearish on SBNY's earnings, and I hope they freaking just crumble.
Yeah, my pushback to Slut when we talked about this other day is that Silvergate was aggressively marketing itself as the crypto bank. They counted Coinbase, Genesis, Kraken among its clients. So they were dealing with the exchanges and they were the bank for the exchanges. Whereas, like Signature Bank, yeah, they were exposed to crypto, but they weren't aggressively marketing themselves as the future of crypto. So I'd say, like, you get a weak earnings report from Signature Bank, SBNY, maybe it goes down like 5%. But we're looking at, basically the play is Silvergate announces earnings. You want the price to book ratio to stay at 0.5, which means you would see this thing go from like $13 to like maybe $5.
Yep. Like how about at the beginning of the year here, like the ones that took off last year, AMTD Digital, which is a splice off of TD Ameritrade, which if you look into the SEC readings, it's just swaps. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if I'm specifically saying it properly here, but it looks like cross swaps or some fucking thing. Like it's just like pass the buck. And now they're just an Asian bank out of China and just changed their name. But yeah, that could also play into, the Silvergate thing. Money needs to be shuffled somehow. They call it the AMTD Spider Net. That's their primary software platform. Sounds fishy to me.
The other play that I wanted to throw out there is I was looking at potentially going short on Carvana today, but I think I'm just going to go January 20th and try and target the $6 puts. They're trading at about 45 cents contract right now. I'm going to see if I can get any 35-cent bids get filled.
Which ones were those, sir?
The January 20th $6 puts for Carvana.
Yeah. Might even go a little bit lower than that, but what's the trade at now? It's like $8, $7, $8.
It's trading between 40 to 45 cents.
Oh, sorry. I always get that. Sorry, I get that confused with the other one. Yeah, Carvana, and then there's CarMax.
BBNY down 10% already today.
I forgot who it was, but they called it on MU. It's down to 56, 66 is dropping.
It was Hardy.
Yeah, I wish I knew about that play yesterday.
Opinion, can I ask you something about? I know it's off your the old server, but on what's it called? What's that fucking thing?
Discord? The
Yeah,
old WSP Discord?
the Discord. I got a message yesterday from these two guys that were trying to get me into this other thing. It's called like money talking.
Yeah, it sounds like like just a spam DM. It's quite common on Discord, so if you see them, just shoot me a DM with their username, and I'll kick them out.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, both of these guys are in yours. They must have heard me talking on here because they were like, I've had a couple of them. They're just hot on shit. Like,
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Send me a screenshot with their names, and I'll kick them out. Thanks a lot for bringing that to my attention.
Okay.
Don't want to distract this conversation too much with Discord stuff.
Snitch.
The thing we're talking about is home builders. I was wondering if anybody had an opinion on that, on shorting home builders.
I actually out of position on going getting some call options on nail. So I know there are a lot of home builder ETFs right now or a lot of home building companies that have been struggling, but I think that's kind of starting to bottom out at this point, and a lot of their costs have managed to pass on to the consumer. So as the problems with their supply chains and the problems that they've had with inflation start working themselves out, they have kept their prices elevated, and I think they're going to be trying to recoup some profit this year. So I actually think they're going to do pretty decently this year. Like I think you're going to see growth for them in terms of what their prices are, and a part of that reason is just how crazy our weather events have been already for the bad weather season that we have that kind of runs through from like the late hurricane season through the snowstorm season. I mean, it's been crazy. Even the floods in California. I mean, Lowe's, Home Depot. I'm trying to find a company that's positioned to benefit from that. But I think it's going to be a good year for the home builders.
So KBH came out with their earnings report, and they said that they had a lot of cancellations, and their orders are slowing dramatically. And I don't really have a strong background in this stuff as much as other people do, but it seems to me that if these rates are going up and these house prices aren't dropping, and there was already a housing bubble to begin with, and you've got a whole bunch of houses that were built with high cost lumber and materials because of inflation from the last year, and they're trying to sell these high cost homes to consumers who are selling their house in a market that's saturated with people trying to sell their houses and move into something smaller and more manageable to weather the recession, that you're going to have a whole bunch of like almost no profits being able to be made because you're trying to sell a much more expensively made house in a market where people can undercut you and still make a profit because they bought a house maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago. Everybody who is in a house right now that bought 8 months ago is already underwater. So I was looking at Nail, DRV, KBH, TMHC. But it's interesting that you think that they're going to do well.
I think they're going to do about even for about the next, depending on how the banks go, probably about the next 6 months. It depends what the lumber prices do. I don't think it's going to do that much, and commodities and everything else, just to keep everything going. But I think
the lumber prices were like sky high, fucking high.
I know they were. I live in
So
BC.
all these houses that
I
were
live in
built,
British Columbia, but I live in BC. I know.
so they have high cost houses on the market right now, competing.
Yeah, but you know what? They'll eat that, and then build them again. They have to keep the business going. It's all part of the write-offs.
So what I'll say is that just for some idea of where it is, what I've read is that the increased materials price is about 20%, was about 20% over that period, where overall material costs went up. A lot of those material costs have come back down now. But during the time that it went up, a lot of those companies, their prices went way down. So I think the struggle that home builders have had is, I don't like using the term priced in, but I think a lot of it actually is kind of baked into that current price that you're seeing. And really, they've gotten to a point now where the new contracts they're taking on are reflecting not just the current value of materials, but actually those earlier values of materials. So they're still charging people an arm and a leg, because you're going to try to start recouping money this year in the same way the grocery stores did, where prices went, the price of actually buying products has started going down and leveling off, but they're still raising their prices so they can make up for the money they lost in the previous quarters.
Yeah, it'll be niche areas. You know what I mean? Like when they're building these homes and waiting, but they can't wait forever. Well, they could if they could.
I mean, I agree, but let's look at California, for example.
That's totally what I'm
had.
thinking in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, where there were 2 million last spring. They're 1.5 now. You know?
Yeah, and these are going to be insurance fueled construction projects, so there's going to be less reliance, at least in some areas, on the liquidity of the actual homeowner, and it's going to be more based on the continued liquidity of their financial institutions.
Hey, can I join this one? I'm actually worked as a title agent, and the interest rates are so high now that it's really hard to buy a house with a mortgage, and that really hurts the home builders too if they get a 7% 30-year loan in the U.S.
Fucking, it feels like 2000 all over again.
Yeah, it's so expensive. You know, even though your house value may be going down, if you bought right now, you'd be paying so much more. It's terrible for the people when 7%, when, you know, during COVID, you get a 2 or 3% 30-year mortgage, which was unbelievable.
That's why everybody's going to these private ones, right? But they've here in Canada, they got the buffer zone, I call it, right? It's like, you know, it's a ceiling you can only go up to, but that's only if you go to the national banks, right? It's just 6. So
I'm in the U.S., so I don't know how Canada works, but I know.
Well, and you also get 30. You get 30 years, right? Like you can lock in 30 years, right?
Yeah, 30-year fixed rate. Yeah,
right. Ours are every 5. It sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible because then if it goes up, you can't get out.
And then you're gonna bring back these 40 to 45-year fucking mortgages again, because everybody's gonna be fucking so hurting, and they want to keep the market going.
Quick question for the guy who does. You said you
title agent,
an underwriter. Wait, what's that?
A title agent. It's
title
like
agent?
I help with the paperwork for buying and selling houses. Well,
Do you
I
know?
got laid off.
Okay. Are variable interest rate mortgages coming back at all, to your knowledge?
Yeah, because what they do is they give them a little bit lower of a rate, but it's not worth it because, you know, what if it keeps going up?
Right.
Like,
Well, I
it's
mean,
like a teaser rate.
I mean, that's a fear, but I mean, it doesn't mean that institutions won't push those mortgages as a way to entice people into buying stuff they can't afford again, like they did last time.
Do you see a lot of variable loans being passed out right now?
It's still mostly fixed, but they did go up. The variables go up because they'll put a teaser rate, like, oh, we're going to give you 5.9% rather than 6.7%, and people will jump on that thinking it has to come down. But what if it doesn't?
Yeah, they used to give us the teasers back in 03, 04. And they were I got prime floating minus 1.75 for my whole term.
Yeah, variable mortgages never really went away. It's when money was free, when you could get a 2 or 3 year fixed. The only people that really get variable usually are people that are doing it for investment grade if they're flipping stuff, or people who are trying to afford more than what they can, get stuck, and now the rates are going up. It's not going to be as prevalent this time as it was in 07 and 08. There's a lot tougher underwriting to not let that happen.
Yeah,
but I think
which gives it a better, like I'm being a person that's going to be selling here come like a month or so here, and I want to get in there before everybody else does, right? But I want to time it with the weather. My area doesn't have a lot of sales going on, but it's hard to time it right, you know. Like, I think it's gonna be good. But
So,
last kick of the
good
can.
luck for it.
So not to get too distracted from plays, because I want to make sure that we're not pulling the conversation too far away from that. It sounds like what you guys are saying is that maybe it's not the best move to look at like a big ETF like Nail, but maybe it's just for me in my position to look at like Lowe's and Home Depot is probably where I'm going to look instead. Because it doesn't sound as if there's going to be much energy inside of the market for new homes. But I do think there's a really good argument for the hardware companies that actually retail material to previously existing homes. Because
if you're bullish on it, if you're bullish on this stuff during like during a recession when people are trying to sell their houses, they go crazy over Home Depot and Lowe's because they want to repair or update their kitchen and bathroom to like more of a modern thing style.
I agree. Yeah, like if you're stuck in place, that's what I was going to say. That retail sentiment would be the stronger part of the sector. I agree with your idea.
And then like Corning, I mean upgrades. Corning, Honeywell, Maytag. I can't say Maytag, but I don't know how many people are going through all their fucking dishwashers and washing machines. And people were having a real problem getting new stuff because, like, they didn't have a lot of those chips for them, right? Furnaces, all that kind of stuff. None of them had the semiconductors, eh? Still waiting for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that because I was actually slowly redoing my kitchen on LG to switch over from GE appliances to LG, and suddenly we just like couldn't find a dishwasher, couldn't find a range anymore. Like, not that they didn't have them, they just didn't have them in stock. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I was getting all mine, I was going to the auction, just getting the returns, and they were like brand new. But you kind of have to figure that out. I mean, fuck, half the time I was getting all the Amazon returns.
Now, I will ask, like, I'm curious if anyone's got any plays for, like, it looks like banking is next week and the week after.
Well, it's just today.
Today as well, yeah. So,
well,
I mean, yeah, anything that's today, I mean, I think we've missed the boat. But
what's BlackRock already come out with their numbers? I don't know. There's going to be a couple after the bell here, I think.
I think with higher interest rates, banks are going to see less people taking out loans, and I'm bearish. There's also been reports of politicians selling bank stocks like Jefferies, BlackRock, JP Morgan. I think that they are anticipating more of a flatter year, and so they're going to be rotating out of banks.
Either that or they're scared they fucking got themselves too embedded with something that they know.
I don't really have a strong stance on it, but I am slightly bearish in the short term.
Yeah. I mean, from the stance that JP Morgan was like 4 months ago to completely fucking turn it around. because he said it was going to be a shitstorm, and now it's I'm going to change my mind.
Yeah, didn't JP Morgan, I saw like an estimate and it was like 1,000% revenue or something like that, some ridiculous estimate.
Yeah, JP Morgan is one of the plays that I think people should pay attention to, just because while all of us are talking about SPY dipping, JP Morgan is a massive component of that. So I think if you're bullish on SPY over the next week, just play banking stocks. If you're looking for a more speculative banking play, I'm looking at picking up shares of Dave, DAVE. The stock is pretty beaten down. They announced a reverse stock split recently, and I think that long term, the stock is a bank to stay away from. But I think the rally over the next week, it could see a little rebound just because it's considered a bank. And then SoFi is the other one that I think could benefit from banks reporting. The one I'm least bullish on is Wells Fargo, just because they suck. And they're kind of exposed to a lot of mismanagement of banking practices. For example, the most recent scandal that people are reporting on is their loans lended out relative to their diversity requirements. So if you're applying for a home loan and you're not a minority, the chances of you getting rejected could be higher because they're trying to loan to higher risk clients, quote unquote, with poor credit. So we know how that went last time. And the loan that Silvergate got was actually from a bank within the Wells Fargo network. So I think in general, stay away from that side of the banking industry. Yep. Good luck.
And maybe City too. I don't like City either. That's just my opinion, though.
So it looks like they're trying to avoid a gamma ramp on BBBY. They don't want all these calls expiring in the money on Friday.
No, when you say they, what do you mean? You mean people are retail investors or institutional investors buying up BBB?
The institutions that sold calls, most likely naked.
How dare they? Who do they think they are?
Sorry, I always have to ask when people say they, because I'm like, this could be anybody, and this could be any conspiracy. And I want to make sure I'm aware of what's going on.
Apparently it's the lizard people. Wink, wink.
Don't you be pulling me into this.
We don't discriminate here.
We all know you're behind the scenes, Rad, pulling these strings. Please make BBBY fly again.
Have you guys made any plays? Market open? Any of you open a play or anything that greens or red?
No, not today. I'm probably gonna wait till the evening before I do anything, and it's probably gonna be a volatility play, maybe UVXY for mid-February, mid or late February, maybe early March. Thought being that I think we're still pretty much in a bear market. My apologies. And the VIX has been trending lower. I think it's hit its 52-week low yesterday, and that's the VIX, not UVXY. So it went down to about 18, which I think is starting to get back into bull territory. And I think it'll keep going down throughout the bank reporting. But I think when we get into retail and tech is where I think the real danger is. So if there's any panic, that's where I think it'll happen. So I'm going to set some UVXY calls for further out. I'm hoping VIX goes down to about 15, which means that if in a real panicky situation, the VIX could probably double, which means that UVXY, which I think is like ×3 leverage, could, go up a good chunk. So I'm going to go as close to.
It's 1.5x.
It's 1.5x. Okay. So yeah. So I'm going to try to get it somewhere within that range. So not buying UVXY calls any further than maybe 30% above where they currently are. So, but that's the only
I
place
was looking at that yesterday because it was at the low, and I jumped in. The one thing I noticed about that stock is that you really need extreme volatility, and a lot of the volatility that we've been speculating on over the past 3 months has been priced in. For example, I think most of you have been moved to the center on how radical Powell's rate hikes will be for the next year. We've seen CPI hit its fulcrum point and it's starting to come back down. You see sharp money hitting long-term bonds. So I think a lot of the volatility will eat your lunch if you try and play UVXY. You really need it on a day where shit is going absolutely insane. Otherwise, look at the year-over-year returns. Look at the 5-year chart. There's only like 2 or 3 instances where you're really going to get a pop. Otherwise, you're just losing.
Yeah, that's a very short-term instrument. So especially when you look any period of time, like week plus, it's always losing because it resets every day based on the options that are out there times the 1.5, whatever the formula. So that is not a long-term holding.
Yeah, they front weighted towards the nearest dated volatility. So like they do a weighted average of the 1 month and 2 month, and it's front weighted. So you really need something like COVID to happen. Like maybe if there's a lockdown in China, dive in there. If everybody else is looking at Yang and you don't see UVXY move yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and for anyone who's on the call and you haven't traded UVXY, it's one of those instruments that you really want to research before you start putting money into it or playing it at all. Remember that the VIX is what you're supposed to be looking at, not UVXY, because the VIX is going to be the real indicator of where the market is, and it's going to help you to make your decision about how to play UVXY. So don't ever just look at UVXY. It's not going to tell you anything useful. It just goes.
I call UVXY the rigged claw machine of the casino.
Yeah, it really is. It'll take your money. And again, it's like one of the few instruments that it's a timing the market play, which is notoriously considered to be the wrong way to trade stocks. But this is Wall Street Bets, so that's the only reason I'm bringing it up in here is because this is the place for people who are not making good decisions. Just understand that it's a bad decision before you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this since '98. I'm sure some other people maybe been doing it longer. And yeah, you tend to make some fucked up mistakes in these things, right? You want to you want to listen to some strategies because they do work. People know
Delta Airlines almost. Yep. Cool. Delta Airlines almost passed its average volume for the day. Already. This is pretty wild. Looks like it's climbing back up from the pre-market dip.
I think it could
Wow.
Wow.
Rip the earphones.
Sounded like he crashed, which was again just either comedic timing or I don't know.
I think
It's been a while since I've watched the CRT TV.
I think his microphone has a built-in profanity filter. What did you say, Alexander? I can go what?
my
Fuck
bad. I
myself?
was using my shitty gaming headset. I think Delta Airlines probably gonna hit $39 maybe by the end of the day, or maybe to what it hit last night, almost close to $40.
Yeah, if the market decides to go in an upward direction, I can see that. The volume is really high, which is really exciting. Usually that means something pretty good. Some good movement here. I've held on to my calls, and I'm anxiously awaiting.
Well, I went back and I read a little bit more. What seems to be moving it right now, it was down as far as 7% now during trading session. It's the ongoing, as we were talking about with the pilots and how they have a good way of getting them. It's going to be that ongoing cost that people are worried about. So just to play counter, I've traded Delta before. I'm not in it currently, but I don't know why it would go up to 39. It looks like it may even go further down, maybe close where it's at right now. But again, it's the market. So,
Yeah, I know that higher pilot costs are like a concern to some people, but you're talking about two people on a plane and allowing two people to basically jump up your revenue and your business scale tremendously because now you can fly more, like all these more passengers. And the pilots were the choke point. And if they do pass this this new contract, which I'm very optimistic that they will, that means that pilots they'll have the advantage here because they'll have a bigger bargaining chip for pilots, which I don't see there. I see that the cost is worth it to increase their flights because they have enough planes. They don't have enough pilots. This is long-term stuff, though. Right now, I'm just kind of. Right now, I saw a comment saying that they had projected like not very good growth, but I can't find that, and I don't believe that.
yeah. No, and again, it is they do have the best customer service. I do like the company. I'm not trying to badmouth Delta. I'm just looking at what the market price is, and I was just thinking, what would the catalyst be for it to go back up to 39 or 40 after they've released and they've already interviewed? But good luck with it, though. I do like the company and I fly it.
Well, there's other catalysts too. So there's other catalysts too on top of this. So the CEO was the keynote speaker at CES in the Consumer Electronics Show, and they talked about how they had made major advancements and investments into their bandwidth of their Wi-Fi, so that you can have streaming from Netflix now on the plane, which is and it's free Wi-Fi. Everybody out there, free Wi-Fi on Delta, and now it allows for Netflix,
Is
which
it?
is very bullish.
But did
And
Delta have? Did like I mean, this is many years ago.
wait, hold on. Let me just finish the sentence. And this is and so like the CEO has been basically pumping Delta all last week with his keynote speaking. Okay, I'm done.
So I had the opportunity to travel abroad end of December, and I flew Delta, I flew on Spirit, and I flew on American Airlines. And of all the experiences, Delta is by far the worst. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is that they all have free Wi-Fi at this point. But Delta, where Delta is making their margins, is that they have tiny seats. So if you get stuck next to a big guy, it's really uncomfortable, especially for like a 3-hour flight.
Have you been on Allegiant before?
I don't know how small their seats are. What I do know,
How fucking bad are their planes is really the question.
yeah, was it what I'll say is that Spirit and JetBlue, as well as American Airlines, all were far more comfortable in terms of like.
Doesn't that just matter? Doesn't that just matter the model of the plane? Like, shouldn't you be mad at Boeing?
No. So they can change their how they do their seating. In fact, I think Delta recently changed their seating to make it tighter, to put more seats in.
Bullish. Okay, I hear what you're saying though. I saw plans that they want to make these things like they are basically just buses with wings. I mean, you get on there, they make it look fancy and comfortable because they don't want anyone freaking out 13 miles above sea level. But at the end of the day, for a business stock price, you do want to cram as many people as you possibly can on it.
True. And I mean, one of the bullish arguments, I think like the tight seats are a bullish argument for them. And I think another bullish argument is actually Southwest and their fuck up. I mean, their huge meltdown that they had. It really kind of, my brother was one of the people who who got stranded. And basically, I know for a fact this guy who like every year takes his family on vacation. This is like, so he's like 4 to 6 people that he's like buying tickets for will most likely never fly with them again because of this experience. So he has to go somewhere. And then Delta's got a huge network. So, there's a real benefit for companies like Delta picking up the passengers off of like companies like Southwest, who people are probably going to be, trying to never fly again.
Looks like they're doing their earnings call right now. I just got a message about it.
There was quite a few quiet ones yesterday. I mean, they were upgrades to their earnings. But yeah, all planes and banks today, man.
What I'm curious about is the fact that I really don't think that there's a lot of positive sentiment about the market this year. I think I've kind of seen the bulls disappear, and everyone's a little gun shy right now. And people are just generally, I think they're afraid of the bear market. And the reason I'm saying that this is interesting is that the market is doing fairly well. In other words, like it's not reflecting the fear is not representing itself.
I want to totally go with you on that one big time, because I am a homeowner. That's why I was trying to say that earlier. I just kind of want to give you an idea of how much my house has gone down here. I'm in Vancouver. It's gone down like 400,000 or 500,000 since last July. At the peak, it was like my places were like 2.2. Now it's like 1.45. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my question is, even for the stock market, even as we're looking at trading SPY, which is something I really want to do. I really want to buy puts on SPY. I just don't know when to do it.
Well, the best thing is to like, well,
It's coming up.
Honestly, if you can talk to Luce somehow or another, whether you come over to Confuse Money, and sometimes he pops in there, he'll give you a little tidbits. Go to his Discord. He's good. Hardy's good too. They both have different concepts. I mean, fucking pick up a fucking. I'm joking when I say this, but I'm not joking. As pick up a options for dummies. I'm not couldn't hurt. I've never picked one up, but I've heard they're actually not that bad. There's many different things. You just want to look at the certain things because it'll over fucking amplify your brain. I've been doing this since '98, man. Like I haven't been doing options. I've only just done them over the last 2.5 years. And trust me, I've been scared of them for fucking over 15 years. Because I've seen people get fucking buried like $1 million. They bet their whole house like fucking. I've never seen anything like it. It's like worse than drugs.
Hey man, like for the mods, I'm seeing a lot of like emojis popping up. Can we get some of those people to talk? I'll step down if I need to. Like let some of these people talk. I want to hear them.
I'm down too. I'm not saying that much.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come up, I've raised or brought up everyone that's got their hand raised for now. Except for a couple people with like one karma. I mean, all I really look for is that you have at least like one comment on the sub, or at least a fair amount of karma, just to make sure you don't come up and scream the N word. Has happened.
What's the N word? I'm just kidding.
It's
Don't say
in a recession.
Yeah. Nice recession.
A nice recession, exactly.
And
Negative margin balance.
That's a good one
Nancy
too.
Pelosi.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
I don't want to get assassinated up here.
Hey man, I got my
How about no?
my screensaver, man. It says, "Don't miss out, FTX."
That's a good one.
Best commercials, most expensive commercials I've probably ever seen made. Larry David.
So Dry Job in the comments posted these Delta reports. $54 price target. Thank you very much.
What's it trading at? Like 38, 48? What's the price today? I don't pay attention to these guys. Who's pouring a drink?
It's at $37.55 right now.
All right. So then they say 54. So I'd say, I mean, this
My
is
price target is around $40.
arguable. I'd say I say 46 or 46.66. You know what I mean? 47.77 high. You know.
I think that's pretty optimistic, but hey, he's the expert. I'm just some dude on the internet.
I know, but you know what? These guys always overprice their fucking their price targets.
And they're usually 6 to 12 months out. They're not next week.
No, of course they're not. But like some of these guys, like I mean, some of these guys are lucked out, right? Like Hardy left, and I didn't really get a full explanation, but I'll get the gist of it. Is with Cleveland Cliffs, right? It was like $14 like a month and a half ago. Like over $20 now. Fucking thing just fucking skyrocketed. Right? But you know, it could go down just as quick. They're very volatile.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I think you make a good point, and I think that's why we should be looking at, I don't think we're seeing a lot of plays right now because I think a lot of people are
honestly, I like silver and gold, but nobody wants to be with me on it. So I
they're
just
very expensive right now.
I there is some diamonds in them rough. I would just buy the straight, like, commodity, the Sprott, or you will find a couple. There are a couple.
You're playing bullion spot price.
I just buy fucking straight bullion myself. I just buy straight silver. I just buy straight silver.
Mining companies are doing pretty good last I checked.
They're all right in the middle of their highs for the year. And gold hasn't quite picked up. Another one I like, buy the fucking Canadian dollar. Okay? Like, if you've got American dollars, I'm not saying you guys all have tons and tons of money. This is for the big guys, right? Buy the Canadian dollar, and if you got time to sit on it, if you're looking just for fucking time, and you want to put it away like it's a bond, put it away in fucking Canadian dollar. Trust me, because it's gonna even out when gold and silver go up, because we're living in weird times where money doesn't actually, these rates don't mean anything because the money is overinflated. It's like kind of, you know what I mean? Inflational.
That sounds a little loony.
I know what it does. I wouldn't put it all in there. Bullion's better. Right? But I'm just saying, when the American dollar evens out, I mean, you're better to go in the forexes, right? I'm just saying, if you've got time to wait. I've seen it fucking fly up real quick. And I've seen Warren Buffett even buy it. But that was back in 04 or 05. And I was like, what? He's buying the Canadian dollar. But you guys are 40 cents above us. I don't know. I've been through.
Does anyone have a someone would have to have a Forex account. Does anyone have a Forex account?
Well,
you do that?
You could do that, yeah. Or
I mean, I do, but I don't trade Forex at all.
Sure. No, and that's why I figure when I hear people talking about trading late night, I know a lot of that is in other markets, and some of that can be currency. And again, for as he was saying, some of the larger players that don't necessarily want to sit on $1 million cash, sure, you can diversify, but that's the super deep end of the pool, and I don't think that's
it's
most
not
people.
us. It's
No,
not
that's
us.
not. That's not. There's maybe 2 of us on here like that, and it ain't me.
I mean, I'm not even that person.
Not me.
I'm gonna go figure out, like, do I want to put it in a GIC, or I'm gonna go shop around. It's like,
And also, not to get too far down a branch, but the whole GLD or the silver one. Again, we know JP Morgan
absolutely
has manipulated the
It's
price.
paper.
They've been fined for it, and they're not the only ones. So again, I know it's
I 100% I'm on your side there, bud.
yeah. So I've owned it before, both in bar form and
Dude, I have a 100-ounce bar here. I use for a doorstop. I throw it at somebody's fucking. It's sitting by my door, and if somebody wants to rob my fucking house, they're getting it right through the fucking head, and that's no word of a lie. It's so heavy. I mean, I don't want to kill anybody, but you come into my house and try to rob me.
smack some people with your calls. No, I'm just kidding. That's the only kind of investment you can protect yourself with, anyhow.
But they're not gonna even pick it up. They're just gonna think it's like fucking piece of fucking metal. They don't fucking like. They're thinking I'm throwing a bar of silver at their head.
Cold bag holder.
I don't know. Everybody looks at it, and it's just funny because they just kick it, and they're like, "Fuck, nice doorstop, man." Like, yeah.
Hey, that's grade A silver.
Fucking what? Yeah, it doesn't wear very much. My ex is she works at the bullion exchange, so I know quite a bit about it. She's a jeweler, right? I don't know. I just, you know what I mean?
Oscar, that's not one of those Victorio Peak gold bars, is it?
No, it's from the mint.
Here we go.
From the mint.
Hey, real quick, BBBY's volume is still super high. It's we're almost an hour into the market. It's 70 million volume out of 90 million average. So it looks like
what's it up though?
Thank God.
It's down 10%, but with this high volume, it means that the bull run is still on.
Oh no, well it just means everybody's pulling off the top and in the middle probably. Like
what's that stock gonna do?
You have to well I would say that yeah, and you've got IB, I guess, Crush, or is it whatever it's I get so confused with all this shit. I'm dyslexic, right? So I mean, it's a good excuse, but it's like it's not my excuse. It's like, you know what I mean? I get backwards on my IVB Crush this.
Oh, I get it, man, because your right is left and your left is right and your up is down.
Yeah, except you know what? When it comes to right and left, I figured that one out by now.
Sure, but it took you a minute. I'm dyslexic too, so I get it. Yeah, options can seem like
I feel like I'm doing kung fu in my own fucking house, man. Like
4D chess. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, chess. I wish I could play chess with my kid. I love chess, but you know.
Somebody mentioned BBBY.
Hey, WWE.
Yeah, Saudis.
I got a play for next week. A put on a 120 at 85.
You got a put?
Like a put
120?
Yeah.
You have a 120 put, and you're or a 120.
No. It's for next week. It expires on 120. $85 put.
Hey, spoiler my
okay. Yeah, okay. I get you. It's January 20th. Okay, sorry, I apologize.
No, it's my bad.
Well, no, because you said 120. I'm like, fucker, you bought a 120, so you're gonna put a put on for your
Hold on,
120.
shut the fuck
it
up.
Never hit.
Isn't that my name?
Sorry, I got that. See right there. This you fucking dyslexia. But I had the 100, say, and then when they said the Saudis, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Fuck, was I excited, dude? I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking, I hope it goes. I'm thinking like $15 off my fucking like 10 center that I got for my hundreds, because I bought them at like 80 or 85. Yeah, 82 or something. And
So
I'm like,
let me ask you guys something about WWE since you're holding, or since you've been holding. What is the?
I'm a
what's
fan.
your like? What's the price to book ratio looking like for them right now?
It's worth $6.66. Okay, like
Wow.
literally, I'm not joking. It's like $6.64. So it's like might as well be 666 because he's the devil, and it's like the price to like the price to earn. It's like fucking. Buddy worked it out the other day. It's like
So that deal with the
14 or
Saudis,
16 times or something like that, which isn't too bad for a niche market, right? Because there's nobody else that does that shit, right? Tony Khan's the only other guy that does that well. And,
I was gonna say, yeah.
And Smashing Pumpkins.
So here's the problem with WWE. It comes down to cost of talent to me. That's the danger. Okay.
Oh,
you've got a lot of guys, big guys on your payroll who you have to provide a lot of money to. Right?
No, they're all junk.
Now you also have a brand new competitor moving into your space, and they
Tony is killing it. Tony's
right?
killing.
So you've got a big competitor moving into your market.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for someone to buy the company. Now the question I have to ask for the investor.
I honestly think. Sorry,
The
go ahead. I want you to finish.
the question I'm going to ask for you guys is: do you think that a buyer is going to pay 15 times the actual value of the company?
Absolutely not.
The Saudis may.
I'm gonna say this: if Tony and his dad, right, the Khans, guys, he did make some sour remarks at the new CEO of WWE, saying, "I'm the real Khan of the Khan land." Like, you should go watch it. It's fucking hilarious. It looks like he's fucking done about an 8-ball of coke, and he's wearing these big fucking shades. You know what I mean? And he's revved right up at his own stadium at the Jaguar Stadium, and I'm like, holy fuck, that is the best promo I've ever seen. But he's making fun of the other Khan. So, I mean, bygones be bygones. It's business, right? But maybe that guy's got it in his mind, right? Like, you disrespected him. And McMahon doesn't maybe want to sell it to him when he knows he's got the Saudis. He could give probably 60% of it to. No problem. 55 to 60%, right? And then you take that other, let's just say 60, and then you go 20 and 20 to Comcast and Disney, because that's affordable for both of them. It spreads it out enough. It doesn't fucking break their books because they got other fucking stupid projects that are totally fucked up anyways, right? Comcast, not so much. They got lots of cash. Endeavor probably wants to get in there, but they got fucking UFC. What the fuck's the point? Fucking, that's enough work, right?
All right, Locke. You gotta give a chance for other people to speak.
I know. I just try to break it down. I know.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but you gotta give a chance for other people to speak.
I just want to say, what's better on a Friday morning than doing nitrous, drinking rum, watching 90210 and losing money?
Well, how'd you know?
So,
Are you watching me on my camera?
Yes.
Something to consider for a WWE acquisition. Whoever acquires it is going to want exclusivity. Wow, English is hard today. Because it's going to be acquired for its streaming backlog, right? It's going to be a Netflix or an Amazon or a Disney to put with ESPN for the purpose of you now have the WWE and WCW entire catalog exclusive to your platform, and you can bring people to your streaming service, right?
Yep.
So keep that in mind.
Good point.
It's probably going to be one of the big streamers, and they're going to want it for themselves.
I totally do.
Look, don't interrupt people, man.
I'm sorry. It's hard because it's like I'll let you guys.
No, I'm good now. Just take a breath, friend. You got this.
No, I get excited about the WWE. If you can't fucking tell, I watch it just about every week. I've been getting bored of it quite a bit over the last year and a half, 2 years.
So
But I definitely think the price is going to go down for sure.
And here's to the point: if someone like Amazon or Disney is going to buy it, to our further conversation that we had about Iger and Disney spending earlier, they're not going to overpay for it. Iger was there when they overpaid for Fox. So whether it's Nelson Peltz trying to get a board member or board membership and stop him from doing that, or the existing board, they're not going to let him pay any 18 times what the value is, let alone 2 times.
They will pay above market price.
But sports has been a losing category for them, and that's another point of controversy and why Nelson wants to get a board membership, because they haven't necessarily been great stewards of capital.
Well, ESPN's garbage for them.
ESPN Plus is owned by Disney.
Yeah, and that's okay for streaming, I think, right?
It would add a lot of content to ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus has some content, but it would start adding enough that it could be considered its own thing. Because right now it's more of just, I have Disney Plus, and that happens to have ESPN Plus.
And so, like, okay, so hypothetically, you throw Tony Khan in there, right? That brings AT&T, Time Warner in there, right? So, and Discovery, it's a.
Honestly, Rad, you made probably the best point that I didn't even consider, and I don't know how it slipped my mind, but there is a huge bank of content here. And the thing that separates something like WWE from a lot of sports is the fact that they have content that's very, very rewatchable. So people will go back and they'll watch a single fight from 10 years ago. Whereas it's really hard to sit down and watch a whole football game for no reason. Even if it's there, like, how often is an entire football game so interesting that we're willing to go back and sit down and watch the whole thing? And so it's got like that very small clip-worthy content. It's the kind of stuff that
it's got nostalgia.
That fans are willing to binge. So if you did, let's say, all the matches of somebody like who's big nowadays?
The Rock, Stone Cold.
Right. So you do a catalog, and it's just all the clips of all the Rock's greatest matches. People will sit down and binge that content, and they'll watch
Undertaker, like fuck.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, right? Like, I've watched. I had it for 10 years.
But how do you monetize that, right? How do you monetize that? Like ads or just subscription?
Advertising. I think advertising is how you monetize it, because it's already monetized.
Well, if Disney buys it, then it'd be on Disney Plus, right? Or am I not seeing what you're thinking? It's going to have its own channel?
No, I think it's going to diversify the spread out there, and it's going to be worked out with, like the Saudis are going to probably want the majority of it. Okay, they're going to want control. They're going to go, we want 51%. That, I'm just saying, they're going to want McMahon's control. Like, they would like to probably have somewhat of control, unless the government comes in. That's my opinion.
You know what I think, guys? Honestly, I think you might see Tony Khan actually make an earnest effort to acquire WWE, for the exact same reason that he acquired Ring of Honor. So back when he had done that, a lot of people had questioned.
He's a real fan. I can tell this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people had questioned why he had acquired Ring of Honor, and we discussed back then the fact that Ring of Honor had its own Hall of Fame. Ring of Honor also had a lot of the foundational video of a lot of the famous wrestlers. So a lot of these guys who are now huge talents came up through Ring of Honor, and he now had access to all of the video content that they created.
And Kevin Owens,
right. So why not complete the set at this point? If you have an opportunity, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And And generally speaking, there's always just kind of been one big wrestling company. But Tony Khan has been just
a fan, dude. That guy,
a fan. He's a mark.
That guy like drools.
Tony Khan is a trick ass mark and a mark ass trick, and I love him for it.
I honestly, he's like don't nobody take this the wrong way, but he's the like most gayest, fascinating fucking hugger I've ever fucking seen in my life. Because like, he give me a hug. It's like he's got the guys up on the stage, and he's like, "Come on, hug me, man. Hug me, man." And it's like he comes out there and he sips on his pop and doesn't drink, to my knowledge. And it's just amazing to watch him, because it's like it's watching one of your buddies that's like not hyperly nervous, but he looks like he's high on drugs.
Yeah.
Real.
Fuck.
Awesome. That's a lot of talk on WWE. I was wondering if we want to shift gears into anything else. If people have been waiting to talk about other stuff.
Cannabis.
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, Organigram came out with really good results this week. Actually, somebody else comes out with some today. I think it's Hexo, maybe. But like these guys are going to be coming out with their results over the next month here, or maybe a couple weeks, because it kind of all spread out, right? But Organigram came up with fucking beautiful results year over year. They're like, they're number 1 and 2 and number 1, 2, 2, and 3 all across Canada for product, over Tilray and Canopy Growth. All of them have been pumping this week. Obviously, we've all probably maybe kind of pay attention to that because everything's fucking pumping. But it's like, where does it kind of calm down? Like, I think they're due, because I think a lot of them are actually starting to come up with their numbers. Mind you, Aurora and a couple other junk ones aren't. And I can go through them all. I mean, I've done well with my pot stocks. I bought 4 centers and they've gone to $2 over the years. But that's a lot of study and balls, or what, you know what I mean? But I've watched all these guys go up and down, and it's Tilray, Canopy, and your American ones down there, like Canna something or whatever. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them too much because they're all on the OTC. But it's well worth looking at a lot of them right now and picking away at them, making a portfolio before these fuckers start picking away at them, because they're gonna. I honestly think that we are in another fucking GME situation here, because this market is way too fucking abnormal for everybody having all their money in cash. Because trust me, this isn't fucking old people and fucking people that are really smart with their money playing around with these stocks. And it ain't just us either. That's all I got to say. Because they're all starting to pump. I mean,
I don't think a lot of people have all their money in cash. I think people are waiting to see where terminal rates end up.
Yeah, but I just don't see how these things are fucking pumping. Like, BBBY, like, I don't know. That's just one of them. Who's
It's
next?
irrational.
Hey, so
I call it piano keys.
I was a GameStop person in 2021, and
I
made
still
over
am.
100K. I still am too. I own some, but you can go back.
GameStop.
Yeah, I was. You've probably seen me on the chat. I mean, I've never been on this talk, but I've been on the site. Read it the last years.
That's
but,
okay.
Yeah, it was the
I
best thing
probably
ever
seen you
happened to
around.
me.
Please
stop.
So, guys,
I listen for voices. I don't look at your names.
can we segue just for 2 seconds? So, a couple people in the chat have asked that we discuss Virgin Galactic, ticker is SPCE. And I just took a look at them. They are up 20% today. I was hoping that one of the people who commented or in the chat, hopefully wondering if any of you guys wanted to come up and talk about that, or if you want us to talk about it. It looks like they just fired one of their CEOs, and they're trying to punch into commercialized space flight. which I think we are all aware of. So it looks like I think the news is basically that they're going to start commercial services this year, and they're going to start production of their what they call their Delta class spaceship sometime in 2023, which is this year as well. So I don't know if you guys have any interest in that, any possible positions on it. You know, I've already said my piece about firing CEOs. I always think that's a good sign. Honestly, I don't think any large modern company is really worth investing in until they start trimming some of the fat. And I think honestly, the fat is not in your base level employees. The fat is your executive branch. So definitely a good sign. And I assume that might be some of the reason why their stock is so through the roof this morning. All right. Well, I tried, guys.
No, that's good. That's good. Sorry. I was just reading about how people calling me an idiot for messing up the Bed Bath & Beyond market cap. I see a couple hands. I'll bring you guys up. Sorry, just give me one moment.
Yeah, I used to own Virgin Galactic. I made money off of it, and I lost money off of it too. More positive. My problem is they're still not making money. This could be a short-term pop. Long-term, unless they can make it true commercial, like let's say New York to LA, like in the old Concorde time where it's just a couple hours, that would be cool. But until they do that, that's so far out.
It just seems to me like there's some ripping algo that's just going through all these different sectors. But I think that when the CPI came out, it was the Fed had anticipated pretty much dead on what the CPI numbers were going to be, which gives a little bit more faith in the market. And so I saw a bit of a rotation out of defense stocks and more into speculative stocks. So this could be a result of that.
Yeah, just risk on appetite, period.
I don't know like what the market demand is for launching people into space, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have my questions about that too. I mean, yes, it's popular among millionaires, but after the first couple hundred people go into space, and it's not some novel thing that you can tell your family that I was the fifth dude in space anymore. Like, is there really that desire to spend a bunch of money on a space flight? Now, I do think that the thing that they're offering, I think the big boon of Virgin is that they're supposed to be doing it at a very reasonable price compared to other methods of getting launched into space. Their thing is that the aircraft that they use require minimal training for pilots, so it's not going to be like you have to hire a flipping astronaut to fly you into space. It's going to be more like a modified airline pilot flying you into space. So I think that's where I think that's the part of their market, the market that they're reaching, that I don't think some of the other big space travel companies are actually addressing. It's how do you do it for the average millionaire, not the ultra rich billionaires.
I think Coke would be cheaper.
You mean doing Coke?
No, launching people out in space. I'm just kidding. No, but look, it's the new frontier or different ways of monetizing and creating new revenue streams. So it's not a bad idea. I'm not against it. It's just I think it's just new, and I think it's just gonna it's gonna take a little while for people to adopt and even consider. because you're going out into space. You know.
I have space bucks.
Anyone still want to talk builders and housing market?
All day.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
All right. So I've been in new home construction, well, as a sub for regional builders, Northeast America, since 2004. So I just remember a lot over the years. All my thoughts currently are very bearish, near to midterm, I guess.
Did you hear what I was talking about earlier?
Refresh me.
Okay. That home builders are going to be suffering as orders are canceled or just not showing up at all, and that the high cost housing that was built during the high inflationary periods are going to be competing with lower cost houses that can be sold for a lower amount of money still at a profit because people got in or built these houses before the inflationary period, so they're going to suffer. I think what's holding the market up right now is institutional ownership of the vast majority of real estate, and BlackRock basically buying up a whole bunch of houses earlier last year. So you've got a bunch of rich people or rich corporations, whatever, same thing, I guess, holding on to these houses and keeping the supply, keeping the price high artificially because they own such a majority of the supply.
Right. So I really like that that's happening. And I also like that I keep hearing all these little snippets in the news about liquidity and things like that. So I would think it's a matter of time until somebody has to start unloading stuff and shrinking balance sheets.
Are you bullish or bearish on home builders?
Bearish to neutral, and then housing market as a whole, very bearish.
And what is bearish housing market to you? Does that mean that there's a lack of buying, or does that mean a drop in price?
Drop in price as a result of lack of buying, as a result of interest. If I think our latest data we got was from the realtor thing, and that was early on, and that showed something, I want to say it was like almost 40% year over year demand drop in purchases, and it all makes sense. And I mean, just locally of people I know, there's a lot of people just backing out of contracts lately. It's not looking up, and the Fed's only going up from here. So I'm back muted.
Somebody check out BRY, Bravo Romeo Yankee. All their fundamentals are good, so it's gonna go up.
When you say all their fundamentals, what do you mean?
Yeah, can you tell us a little more about the company?
Yeah, sure. Right now their price to book is 0.8. Their trailing PE is 3, and their most recent quarter hasn't been up to date yet, like with Yahoo Finance and the others. So it's still gonna go up. Plus, the forecast for energy is gonna go up still. So it's a pretty safe bet to get calls on it. How much and for how long, I don't know, but it's pretty good right now. They're undervalued, massively undervalued, so it's pretty safe bet.
I would think more bullish on oil wells compared to midstream projects, mainly because the oil wells is that there hasn't been a lot of that capital expenditure in that area. And the main thing is that there needs to be there's less and less wells that are being developed out here in the country. So I would say that Halliburton is definitely one that's ticker symbol Henry Alpha Lima. That's one particular company I'm looking to get into if it actually drops down low enough. Is anyone in steel by any chance?
Oh, someone was talking about CLF before. I think that was Slut Spoiler.
I'm not in
No,
steel.
that was Lockstar actually. Lockstar was talking about steel.
I like Alcoa. I'm not in it currently, but I've been in it before during the split too. Yeah.
I was seeing, I guess, like on MSNBC that they were talking about Cleveland Cliffs. Like, I'm a part of a subreddit that basically, like, it's mostly started off as a steel subreddit. When you talk about it as a commodity and just how much demand there is, I am pretty bullish when it comes down, especially with the infrastructure that needs to be built. Work at an airport where there's a lot of projects that need to be completed for the whole restructuring. But I am bullish on steel. I just feel bad because, like, I had X, which is U.S. Steel, back a few months ago, and I already sold out because of recession fears. It's okay, products don't get built with recessions, and now steel is just killing it as of lately. So, yeah, I'm still ticked off about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 11 o'clock at this point. I was thinking we should wrap this up. Do you guys have any last minute plays or thoughts on the trading day so far? We started the day with Bed Bath and Beyond down quite a bit, but it looks like it's rebounded since then. Same with GameStop, which I believe is now green, and SPY overall. So,
Yeah,
or
baby.
sorry, SPY isn't green yet,
Yeah.
but it looks like it will be. So, how are we feeling today, folks?
Luckiest person
Pretty
in the
bullish
world.
on BBBY. It's going back up.
Friday the 13th might just end green,
Just remember what happened last time.
Mega Millions.
Booyah.
Wait, what happened last time?
Talking about a BBBY.
Oh, right. Yes, that was unfortunate.
Watch out for the rug pulls. Yeah.
TQQQ to 20. I see that in the comments. Bed Bath and Beyond. Someone's got $10 calls on Twitch. Very risky, but if
Wow.
you like to play the lottos.
GME looks like it's about to hit $21.
Well, yeah. All right. I think that's we talked about a lot of stuff today. I think WWE, that acquisition, potential acquisition, took up the majority of our time today, but we talked about a lot of other really cool stuff. So
Yeah. Thank you, Opinion, and thank you for not choke slamming any of us today for interrupting as I interrupted. And have a good weekend.
No worries. And yeah, thanks. Remember that actually, yeah, this is a long weekend. So Monday there will be no call. Markets are closed on Monday.
Boo.
I know. Boo. Well, I mean, or yay if you were planning to lose money that day. But
I'm just looking forward to coming back Tuesday and then everyone realizing, oh crap, Bed Bath & Beyond's actually a terrible company. I should sell my shares, but I still can.
Don't do it.
$2 puts. I got $2 puts expiring the 20th.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Don't lose too much money.
Good
ya.
luck.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.